So YouTube right now is a little bit strange because some folks are having problems seeing my videos pop up in their subscriptions, even though I'm uploading videos. So to help you guys out with that real quick, you have the subscription icon right here, and then next to it, there should be a bell. In fact, for all my videos, that should be the case. Subscribe, the bell right next to it. So if you're not subscribed, what you should do, subscribe, then you have the bell, you click on the bell, then you have notifications from King of Lightning, you click on that box right here, then you click on save, obviously. That should help you guys be far more aware of when I'm uploading videos to the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, what is up? The king of lightning is here today, bringing you guys and gals Kingdom Chapter 507 review. Now, I do want to say that I was going to do a combo chapter review because Chapter 507 is relatively simple and straightforward. However, there is no chapter out this week, a new chapter. So I was like, you know what? Let me not try and do a double chapter review in 2 weeks' time. Let me just get it out now, and then we'll do the next chapter review by itself as well. So, that being said, let's start off with the pacing and the chapter structure, which all it is just the Bow Brothers stuff and people watching the Bow Brothers, the Hi Shin unit and Yotawa's army, as well as the impact that the archers have upon the Zhao forces in this one area of the city. And then Baggio and company, they finally get on top of the wall. And so you see Baggio all stanced up at the end of the chapter, and you're like, yeah, it's over. Like, they just cleared. They just cleared. We get to see the Chokai clan, or the Choka clan, the archers of the mountain tribes. They do their thing, and then Jin and Tan have to struggle, because I said before in the previous review, they are relatively new to war. And I don't think it was stated before, but it was stated in this chapter, that they are the youngest among the Hi Shin unit. So they have to come to terms with killing someone, and they can't do that until Jin bucks up. So that's the pacing and chapter structure. It's just that one part through and through, which made perfect sense given the previous chapter. So that's number one. Number two is the story progression. Basically, you have, again, Baggio. He is up on the walls, which means that they're going to be able to penetrate, which means that they're going to be able to open the gates from within and then allow the Hi Shin to go in there and clear. So when Yotawa stated that give it half a day, it looks like they were accurate, because now that Baggio's up there, this guy is going to be fierce. He's going to be a tornado of death. But then we have what appears to be, I think, like the true weeding process between the Bow Brothers, because I had a feeling that not both of them were going to be a part of the Hi Shin unit. It was going to be one or the other, and lo and behold, it was Jin. Made sense to me given his look. You look at Tan, you're kind of like, is he really going to be in? I don't know. But you look at Jin, it's kind of like, yeah, like Jin's in. Yeah, Jin's definitely in. You weed out that, because you have the struggle that takes place with them when it comes to taking a life for the first time. People that aren't even aware of who's killing them, because they are effectively snipers, the snipers of the day. Then they go through all those rigmaroles, and then finally Jin actually starts shooting arrows and landing shots, whereas Tan does not. So when it comes to the overall story progression, it is essentially making leeway for certain characters, finally establishing a foothold on top of the city gates. Finally, the clear meat of this chapter, the characterization / character development. And in this case, it's full-blown character development. Jin, he has to make that decision. He has to do what every soldier has to get accustomed to doing, which is taking the life of another person. And in this case, Jin and Tam, they're the youngest, and they've been in the mountains their whole lives. When it came to the training itself, they didn't even pass initially. It wasn't until they impressed Shin and Ten where I was like, oh shit, okay, like we need these archers, like we need these guys. Initially, they weren't soldier material, and when you see them in battle, they have to really struggle with taking a life, and that's a big responsibility. Jin, he justifies taking a life via looking at his side, looking at the mountain tribes and how so many of them are dying while trying to climb this ladder, and how if they sit there and do nothing, then more and more people will die as a result of them doing nothing. So it is their inability to act that is a bad thing here. And by doing so, he's able to change his character scheme to where now he is able to take a life because it is necessary. But when it comes to Tan, not the case, because Tan can't do it. No matter how hard he tried, he would aim at the person, but his arrows would always miss, even though we know he has phenomenal accuracy. Again, his accuracy is on par, at the very least, with those of the 10 bows of China. but he could not take a life. So now what we're going to see here is Tan probably go back home to the mountains somewhere, and Jin is going to be a staple of the Hi Shin unit. That's my guess here. I don't see Tan staying. He may want to be with his brother ultimately, but I don't see what role he could play unless he attains the necessary mindset to take someone's life, which may happen in the future, but I don't see that happening. I really don't. So I'm going to say that Tan is going to leave the Hi Shin unit. He's going to go off and do X, Y, and Z, whatever, while Jin is going to stay with the Hi Shin unit, and he's going to be like the core archer of the Hi Shin unit. Like, he's going to go the distance with Shin and company, clearly. Now, on top of that, we get to see the precision even more so when it comes to his archery. We know that Jin and Tan are the sons of Sogin. Sogin was a part of Dukyo's army. He was actually someone that was recognized to be one of the 10 bows, the only one hailing from Quinn, and how he died early on in his career because of an ambush that happened when it came to the Dukyo army, but he did actually best one of the 10 bow archers of Wei. So the guy is very skilled. However, according to Jin and Tan, their father was fairly clumsy, but yet he was able to beat in combat one of the 10 bows of China in Wei. So when you have the requirement of a 10 bow of China can hit a target, I think it was like 500 paces or like some really large distance, 8 out of 10 times, and both Jin and Tan can hit it 10 out of 10 times, it is very safe to assume that their accuracy, at the very least, is on the same tier, if not greater than that of the 10 bows of China. However, when it comes to other requirements like skill, like experience, they are far lacking in certain respects. Now, this is shown where Jin, he's able to kill people. Before he starts, he makes the statement that his hands are shaking, all right? His hands are shaking, his heart's beating, but he's still shooting, and he's still getting headshots. Listen, all right? Even though his hands are shaking, you have Jin start firing arrows, and it was so impressive. It was like, dude, what? Like, a shaking hand Jin, able to shoot not only officers, like distinctly officers, but all of them in the skull, through the left eye. Like, it was like, some were through the mouth, but most were through the left eye. It was left eye accuracy, dog. I was like, what the, dude, left eye, left eye, left eye, left eye. When Tan can't shoot anymore because he can't overcome that wall, and then Jin's like, watch me, 10 in a row. And we see just more left eye shots. There was one shot where I was like, what the, like, one of the dudes, like some random mountain dude, grabbed a spear and like pry open like the shield of like one of like, the enemy's out soldiers. And Jin is able to fire an arrow at that guy and like shoot him. I think Jin shot him like, through the mouth or through the eye again, something like that. It was crazy. I was like, dude, what the? Jin was impressive, all right? Scarily impressive, man. I mean, it was the officers that fell, that boom, boom, boom. The only thing I have a problem with, how was he able to like distinguish? I mean, I guess the officers wear different armor, but then some of them really didn't. Like, I guess he went for the guys that looked like they were officers, and then he was able to like really break down the communication of that section of the city wall. So ultimately speaking, like, it was impressive. It's truly, truly impressive, and just like, whoa, like this guy, he's in the Hi Shin unit. Like, there is a tempo of China in Zhao, one at the very least, and there may be a face-off like what his father did with Wei. So Sogin, Wei, Jin, Zhao. Possible. That may happen. Though I think it'd be a little bit too early for that because, again, they've just hopped into the Hi Shin unit, and I think Jin's character needs more time to grow and develop. He's already gotten some development in this chapter, obviously. Core development because, again, he has to become a soldier now. He's no longer, he no longer wants to be a child in the mountains, you know, just chilling, you know, hunting deer and whatever. He wants to be a full-blooded soldier. All right, fine. That requires you to make changes, actual character changes, which he does do in this chapter. So now we got to see how his character develops from here. So that being said, folks, this chapter overall, I would say, is a good plus to great chapter. It's a simple chapter, in all honesty, really simple, cut and dry. But it is the character development for Jin, and also how we are kind of weeding out characters like Tan as well, which is necessary for the story to move as well. So I'm going to say good plus to great. I'd say I'm done. So King Laning, rate the video, comment, and subscribe as always. I will see you cats later. Peace. Have a nice goddamn day.